Yeah. Oh, never get used to that again. We're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you, wherever you are in this great big world. My name is Michael John of Michael John Paranormal Ghost Stories, along with my co-ghost host here, the man of the hour, the man of the power, much too sweet, to be sour. His name is Dale Quigley of High Spirits Paranormal. Together, we are the voice of the paranormal, the voice for the paranormal, Windsor, Ontario's own, the paranormal voice. Welcome to you, TPV Nation. Everybody out there tuning in right now, signing up to watch the show tonight. Thank you, of course. Heaps of gratitude to you for being here, because if it's not for you, we couldn't be who we are. Before we get started with our show tonight, we got a couple things to talk about. I want to talk about our guest who's related to this topic. She's coming up Saturday night, February the 11th at 8 p.m. It's Mary Bassett, and Mary is a list of who's who for what you do here. She's a channeler, psychic medium connected to the frequencies of beings, interdimensional beings of the higher spiritual realms. She's a regressionist for MUFON. Very important, folks. She works with ET experiencers, paranormal experiencers, PTSD, you got to get that right, experiencers, all for deep cellular healing. And why we're mentioning Mary, we're very excited to have her a guest again this Saturday night, February the 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you're going to have Mary Bassett, you're going to have Deb and RJ DeRoos, Reverend Michael Carter, and Bill Konkoleski, all on one show talking about regressions, people that are experiencers and have experienced encounters with extraterrestrials. The show itself is called The Voices of Contact. Dale, what's there to say about this show? Oh my God, this is going to be cool.
Oh, yeah, no, everything I've been seeing, everything I've been reading, it is going to be I mean, I've got goosebumps just thinking about how the show is, and to have Reverend Michael
panel.
Carter, Mary, I know, it's like the who's who of, and I mean, yeah, no, it's very exciting. So yeah, make sure you're tuned in Friday night, 8 p.m. Live on Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be in the famous words of Michael John, it's going to be a ring-a-dong dandy show.
Close enough.
I see we got our last week's guest already popped up in here. Frank, thank you. Good. Hey, buddy. Good to see you.
Frank, so awesome
sorry, Facebook user, I can't see your name. So if you can type your name in there, let me know who that is.
Hi, Dale and Mike. Say who you are, please, and thank you. Yes,
exactly. Yes, we're great. Everybody's in the show. So yeah, no, like I said, it's we've been on a roll. Like I said, we just had Frank on Sunday tonight.
Yep.
Again,
former
Mary Bassett
guard. Former prison guard turned investigator.
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, we've got the hits after hits. Mary Bassett on Saturday, and then of course, like Sunday, we got another guest. Like this, we just got them piling in for everybody. So I hope you got a lot to watch about. Hey, Stacy, how you doing? I'm glad to see you're here. Thank you for showing up. Right. So yeah, with that, don't forget also too, folks, one more thing before we get the party started. April 1st, we are going to be at the Midwest Parafest in Toledo, Ohio.
Brought to you by Die Paranormal. Chad Die
Paranormal, that's right.
Heather Hansen.
Heather, that's right. Don't forget. So come on down, get your tickets. We're going to be there. Andrea Perrin's going to be there. Jeff Belanger's going to be there.
So many cool people. Oh my God.
And of course, our favorite, Mr. John Tenney, is going to be there. So yes, excited for all this to get it. Once again, that's April 1st, Midwest Parafest, Toledo, Ohio, the Oliver House. Go to the MidwestParafest.com website, get your tickets today, and join us.
Join us.
Woo.
Sounds like
join us.
Join us.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess it's without further ado, folks, it's time for the main event of the night. let's bring our guests out. And while they're coming on, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Our guests are called, well, Triple M Paranormal, MMM Paranormal. It stands for Metaphysical Music Mavens, which is really unique. I love. We met these lovely people when we were at the My Paracon in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan last year. That's where we cut our teeth. And the things they do, it's pretty interesting. They use music to help connect with spirits. They use like singing, musical lyrics, and what else is it? Hold on, who we are. I had so many things on the list now. My it's not cooperating. You know what? Let's just get them out here. We got Ashley. Here's Sharon and Nate. Are they there with us? There they are. Oh my God.
There they are. Live and in the flesh. Welcome, guys. We're so excited to have you guys here. Finally, we get to talk more about this very intricate concept that you guys have when you guys go investigate. So we're really looking forward to this. Thank you once again to coming out, and all right, let's just get right into it, because I'm sure people are dying to know what it is you guys do. So let's start it off, Sharon. Let's start it off from the basics. What got you interested into the paranormal, and then if everybody else would like to follow in and answer with their questions as well. So these are going to be questions to all you guys. So yeah, so we're going to kick it off with Sharon now.
Well, let me just say thank you for having us. We really appreciate being able to share some of our information and experiences with everyone. What got me interested in the paranormal was just oddities and curiosities that started happening as a young child. And so I always had an interest and a fascination, but then I became a mom. Ashley's my daughter, and she was very much interested in the paranormal. So when she was about 14, we started investigating together. So it's been about 20 years. Mm-hmm. And we've had some pretty exciting and interesting experiences.
Yeah. So Nate and I met in college. We both were trumpet players in marching band. And so when he met Tirza, we realized we were kindred weirdos. And that's how we came together. But Nate and Tirza, how did you get involved in the paranormal?
Well, I, have been a practicing witch for a while. I've always been like in that realm. I've definitely researched a lot about various paranormal topics, and so I've always had an interest, as a teenager and onwards, as you do. It's been a fascination for a long time. So
Nate thinks we're all crazy.
Yeah.
He does.
I got drug into this with Ashley in college. Used to, take us out on ghost hunts, and take us around town, telling us all the local stories. And, my background is in music. So, when I studied audio engineering and everything, like that's what brought me in is, all these frequencies and sounds, and just trying to pick apart, what is that? Is it something that's natural, or is it something that's not natural? And, just trying to find those frequencies, so I'm kind of the skeptic of the group, trying to figure out, what's really real and, what's just in our heads kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just to clarify real quick. Sorry, just to clarify real quick. So when you say you utilize music, I notice there's on your website, you have a category of 3 specific things. What are the 3?
The 3 of what?
When you're using music, you're using singing, you're using instruments.
Yep, we use live instruments, we use singing, we use recorded music. We try to investigate the history of the house a little bit, or the location, and target what we would use. For example, we investigated in Dearborn at the Commandant's Quarters at the Dearborn Historical Society. And being that it was the Commandant's Quarters, I played taps on my trumpet. And later that night, we got an EVP. I asked, "Did you like hearing taps?" And the EVP responded, "Yeah." It didn't say yes, it said yeah, which I thought was a little out of character for an 1800s ghost, but they said yeah. So but it just goes to prove that when you use music, and any kind of music, whether it be live or recorded, it just not only does it heighten the energy, it also, we see it as a gift, as we're asking all of these spirits and entities to interact with us and give us a sign that you're here, tell us you're here. But what do we give back? And that is kind of our way of showing some appreciation and have it be more of a symbiotic relationship. And we tend to get really good results and have really good investigations when you go into it with that approach.
So I got a great question on the side here from Frank Robert. Are you using the music to raise the vibration?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
About the school.
Yeah. So we had a unique experience last year where we got to investigate my old elementary school where I went to 1st and 2nd grade. And being there as a child, I didn't think it was haunted, but it's certainly a spooky school. And so we went in, and when it was initially built, it was the high school. And being that I went to this school district, I knew the fight song, I knew the alma mater, and Nate and I played the music of our school in the gym on our trumpets. Cool. And it was like right off the bat, like you could just feel that.
Nostalgia.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So what I want to ask, I'm going to start with Nate being the skeptic, because perhaps you have a story regardless. I hope you do. I'm going to ask all 4 of you to answer this again in this respect. But again, I want to start with Nate. Your freakiest, creepiest, scariest experience you've had to date. Nate, something that's happened to you, you're like, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that because that was messed up, man.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain because, for me, I don't really have the sensitive feelings, that Tirza and Ashley and have. They really feel the energies, and I don't quite have so much of that sensation. But for me, it's the uncannily timed sounds that just pop up.
Yeah, so cool.
You're in the middle of a building in the middle of the night, and you just ask a question, and there's just like a crack from the other side of the house that just pops up, and you're just like, that is too uncanny to be out of the blue, because you will not hear that sound at all before or after for the rest of the night, kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And we at Ashley, I forgot where it was, down in Pennsylvania or Ohio.
At Prospect Place?
At Prospect Place, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we definitely had a lot of those sounds popping up, especially in the basement underneath. So I don't know. I'm more specific than that because I have a terrible memory. That's why we record stuff.
Join the club. But you know what, Nate? That's awesome. I love that you share that, and that you bring up a very good point, because even for a skeptic, I mean, where did that noise come from? There was nobody rapping on the pipes the whole time we've been here. There wasn't even a peep from a mouse. And then all of a sudden, when you're asking for it, you get it. Oh my God. Tell me that isn't a rush. Tell me you're not addicted to that. Just a little bit, Nate. Pardon me?
The panic is a little real too at times.
And Tirza, your craziest, creepiest, weirdest experience to date.
Oh man. Oh, there's been a couple. Let's see which one to choose. Let's see. A ghost hunting one would be I think when we were at the Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield, and we were in the shoe, and I was hooked up and all the way, under with the Estes method, blindfolded, everything.
We were just talking about that. That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, it's so isolating, but so worth it. Because I heard the sounds coming through. would bring back. And then once, they tapped me out of it, they're like, you gave us so many clear answers, like right on top of it, like clear answer. Like you gave us names, you gave us places.
No kidding.
We were kind of terrified because they were not players either.
Oh, wow.
Get out. Stop messing with us, answer.
Really?
Oh, wow. That's...
Yeah. They had asked the question, like, who's here with us? There had been like 2 spirits down there, and one name was John, and John would never talk to us, right? Do I have that right?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah. Like it was in effect like he would never talk to us because of some scary reason, some intimidating reason.
You guys intimidated John.
Yeah, I think there was a bigger entity down there coming through that was not letting the others talk, was, I think, what the answers were directing us to in the Estes method. It was a little wild, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so investigation was amazing.
Sounds like it. I'm jealous, actually. Ashley, go ahead.
Oh, goodness. I think spookiest has to also be at the Ohio State Reformatory. I think it was the first time we were there. And when you're first there, they give you a nice tour of the building, tell you the hot spots and the history. And we're up in the attic. And if anybody has been there before, you can't see your hand in front of your face in this attic. There is no light. And the only light coming in is from the doorway, which is a football field down from where we were. And so just this little pinprick of light, but we're all standing there and down toward the door. This is while we're all still in our tour group. You start to kind of like hear shuffling down there. You can see anyone coming into the room, and it's like a catwalk right across to get into there. So anyone walking by, it's loud. It's an old metal catwalk. And as we're all looking, this full figure just walks right in front of the door with a brimmed hat. He's kind of looking down. He had like a sweatshirt on, and like half of the group saw it and everyone flipped. But I took off running toward it. I'm the only one running toward it because I wanted to make sure it wasn't actually a person. But as I'm running toward it, I realized it was silent, that there's no way that could have been a person. And there's also nowhere to go once you're up there. And it was clear as day. Craziness.
That's awesome, actually.
Actually, we got Frank and Rhonda on the side saying that their favorite place is the attic as well.
Attic is so good. Something weird happens every single time.
Hey, my photos from the attic still haunt me. Like the name drawings.
What is it?
Thing.
Yeah, so up in the attic was extra space when they were at capacity. They had bunks up there for like lower offenders. And there's still all of these drawings and writings on the walls from the inmates. And some are very vulgar and funny, and as you would expect in a men's prison. And others were like,
hey, that's why it's my favorite.
I mean, it's entertaining for sure. But yeah, it's pretty cool up there. That's definitely one of my favorite spots there.
Yeah, and it's like so personified. Like they have their initials, they have the dates, they have their numbers. It's like their imprint is there, and so it's natural that their spirit or what lingers of their spirit might still be there.
Yeah, definitely traces of their soul, if you will. That's cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So the music side of things, we we sang Johnny Cash Folsom Prison up there.
Mm-hmm.
I sang it very readily and sort of off key, but I did my best. Uh, and you got the impression of almost a crowd. It was interesting. The just feeding off the energy. It was a very echoey room, and to be in there with resonance, it was affecting things like just echoing. It was a profound experience. So I would say singing as someone who's slightly sensitive is an interesting way of connecting to spirits as well.
No kidding. And Sharon, last but not least, your creepiest, freakiest, weirdest experience today, please.
I think that would have to be at Eloise. Eloise Asylum. I think that's the proper name for it. In Michigan. Ashley can tell you, I don't live in Michigan, where it is, but it is filled with energy of so many different entities. But there's a place in the basement of the main hall that Ashley and I were walking down with another investigator, and there was a presence right behind us that was following us for the length of a very long hallway.
You could feel it just like looming.
She stuck her phone up, and she actually got a picture of something like staring at us from around a doorway. And to me, that's one of the, I don't usually get spooked, but that was definitely one of the creepier times there. Was that individual.
That's also where we caught one of our coolest EVPs, was right at that same time.
In that same area.
Yeah. So that entity in the basement, the people who are there, they said that they named him Brendan for whatever reason. They said this entity, he doesn't like women. We call him Brendan. And so I had my recorder going, and we were just walking down the hallway, and you hear me ask someone who's been in the building before, like, so is this Brendan? Talking about like what we're feeling. And then clear as day whispers into the microphone, "Who's Brendan?" And I'm like, okay, that's not his name. It was creepy.
And that's on your website under investigations
website, yes.
and evidence. Yes, we could find that on there, or anybody wants to hear it.
And we caught another great one that night too, when we were up by the nurses' station, I think on the 3rd floor, surrounded by golf balls that had come through the windows. And I asked, "Are we alone?" And we received a very clear no. What's that? A little off-putting.
No. Yeah, no, that's, yeah, no. I mean, in most of these locations, yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to be alone. But we got Frank on the side asking another very interesting question. He goes, as you research a location, do you predetermine the music beforehand, or do you play it by ear?
Good question.
A little both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually research the locations and have an idea of the age, the genre of what we might find there. And then we kind of base the music, whether it be live or recorded, upon what we've determined.
Oh, very interesting.
Rely on people while we're out there too. We're lucky to, collaborate with some other teams who have more familiarity with the area. Or are more gifted psychic mediums, and we kind of take their direction while we're on location as well.
Yeah, and we have playlists that we have set up for decades, things like that.
Wow,
it's so fun.
That's so cool.
So fun.
You guys are really thought this through.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, that was the one thing that I'm thinking is, I mean, I guess if you play their type of music from their time period, you're going to get more of a reaction. It's like when we go into an investigative place, if we bring a relic or anything that is from their time period, you get a reaction out of it. So no, that's no, and I mean, I guess music would be more of a trigger because who doesn't like music, right?
Yeah.
It's in a lot of places. Music was, somewhere to be found in a lot of buildings, especially in the early 1900s, 1800s, and stuff like that. Music was really what people enjoyed because they didn't have televisions and entertainment like computers like we do. So a lot of them, music was, and they're very instrumental people back then too. It seemed like everybody knew how to play some type of instrument.
Yeah.
We've certainly found, I think we first noticed it, how it really helped the investigation. What was the name of the museum we did in Dundee?
The Old Mill Museum.
The Old
Love
Mill. And there's a couple of entities in the bathroom area. And that was really when we started playing genre specific music and really started to understand how it would aid our investigation. So that was one of the first times we did it. And then we just kind of, with Ashley and Nate, being such musicians, and then they bring their instruments, and Nate will occasionally bring something else in addition to the trumpets.
Wow.
It really amps it up.
Speaking of the Old Mill, we have Stacy online here from Dundee. She's part of the Old Mill crew. Swippy.
Yay,
who
we
go in
love
there all the
Swippy.
Who doesn't love them? Oh my God. they're
I
so
know.
awesome.
Swippy is
Yeah.
actually who we were with when we had our first
Okay.
kind of musical experience. And Milton was the ghost that we were talking to in the bathroom, and we would play music and it would be quiet. We'd say, "Do you want to hear anything more?" We'd hear a bang. We're like, "All right, Milton's ready to party."
Really?
And that was one where we were lucky enough to have one of their mediums with us who was telling us, his name's Milton. I've talked to him before. And in fact, on our logo, our little guy, we named him Milton in honor of him.
There we go.
He's got headphones on.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's no, it's
We
I just lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, go ahead, Tirza. While I think about what I was going to try to say there for a second.
we played a little Andrews Sisters that night. Lots of Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
Yeah. Yes.
Milton seemed to like it, and the medium that was with us, I remember him reacting, saying, "I don't think I've ever talked this much to this particular spirit."
Was it Adam?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Black Swan Medium.
Sorry.
Love Adam.
Spirit
Great
Milton.
guy.
He's great.
guy.
The medium man.
That whole crew over there is great. Can't say anything but good about them for sure.
They truly are.
Yes,
we
he
have-
did respond
Old
with
Mill.
Knox. Rhonda, he did respond with Knox. That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Rhonda
Yep.
says she sponsors that event they have there, the Old Mill Parafest, because she loves it so much. Someone saying Milton usually responds with Knox. Nice. Another comment. Nice. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Dale.
Go ahead.
I thought you're
No. I'm just,
okay. So what I want to ask now, I mean, let's get to this. I mean, with the three of you, I mean, you've been to more than a few places at this point. I believe Sharon, you said with COVID and all that put together, you guys have been together 4 solid years in some sort of a capacity, right? Now I'm gonna pry a little bit and see what's up for Metaphysical Mavens right here for the year of 2023. What's happening next? Where are you going? Where are you investigating?
I'm going to let Ashley handle that one because we've got some plans, but I don't know that we've had a chance to solidify. And I know Tirza just came off an investigation.
Yeah. Yep. And there's breaking news I haven't told the team. So
What? I think we need to get into that right now.
Microphone's off.
I wasn't allowed to record, but I do have a fun story. So
great.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, in terms of investigations, we do have a couple lined up. My mom is in the process of moving up to Michigan, so we will officially have all 4 members in the state. And Tirza and Nate live on the west side of the state. We're on the east side. So we're hoping to do a little bit more out toward them. Maybe revisiting the South Bend, Indiana area a little bit. And we're hoping to go back to the old mill this year as well.
Yeah. So
Nice.
as far as things around here, like we were saying, I just came off of an investigation at the Bird Cell Mansion.
Okay, where's that?
That is in South Bend, Indiana.
Yes.
It is a beautiful old place, really historical. Has a ballroom on the third floor, just
Wow.
very large. And the second floor has been devoted to local artists that have come and like made murals and kind of art installations in there. So it's really interesting to see at night. Okay, so
I bet.
and Corbin Bentley, who is a TikToker who's really famous on TikTok, hosts and is kind of the leader of that particular location. So he was taking us through, and we kind of agreed that we would not record out of respect for, this is kind of his ground, and we were only there for a little while. But when we were in the basement, he had his channeling doll named Lucy set up near a door in the basement that was very heavy. Like there was a few of us there. We were getting the sense of like pushing and like heaviness weighing us down, like just a very heavy feeling from this room. And we were asking questions. Corbin had a spirit box out, and it was running through, and we got some answers that sounded, somewhat like, I heard, "We are here," and something garbled. And then he asked, "How many of you are here?" And it said something like 8. But it was very hard to understand. But then he asked a question, something to the effect of, "Can you do anything for us that will let you know that that you're here?" And a broom fell over.
Wow.
Yes.
Broom fell over.
Falling objects. Greatest.
That's the good stuff. Did you
I
jump?
know.
Yes.
Isn't that folklore, though, that when a broom falls, that you can expect company?
Yes.
So
Yes.
how
Never heard that.
perfect.
I mean, that's what they say in Practical Magic, so it has to be true.
That's why I warned it.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's I mean, that's the kind of stuff you want, like when you're asking for something and something like that happens so that everybody can either see it or hear it. That's always the jumper thing. The one question that I was thinking of now, do you guys do any type of experiments while you're there, like with the music, like especially in a place where music was played, like a ballroom? Like, do you guys like try to play some notes and see if you can get them to play the notes back to you? Have you ever tried that type of experiment?
I don't know that we've done a full call and response like that, have we?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, but that sounds really enticing.
That's great. Yeah, love it.
We do.
Well, you're welcome. I come up with some good ideas every once in a while. But that, I mean, just to me, I that would be, I'm really like, when I investigate, I try to do things that are like not always, but to do a response thing like what you guys do, because it's so unique, and to see if you can get the ghost band to play back the music you guys are playing. I mean, to me, that would be mind-boggling evidence right there to be able to put out there and show just how intelligent the energies on the other side is. So,
Yeah,
um,
One of
it's
the
always
reasons.
we've always been playing music for them, but yeah,
Exactly.
That's
We
awesome.
always feel like it's our way to give back as well, because we
Mhm.
figure they're in the spirit realm. They don't have their friends, they don't have their family, but this is something that maybe they could enjoy. So it's like philanthropic to do for them. So,
It's a setup for sure.
yeah.
I
Well,
like
if you guys ever try that experiment, let me know how it goes because I'd be
Yeah,
very interested
absolutely.
into.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, that was just the one thing. I believe it's still
I see
stationed on the side.
Nate.
It says we would love to have you back at the old mill. So there you guys go.
Done
I've
deal.
investigated the old mill. I've been at the old mill a few times myself. Investigating, always an amazing place. I've never been down in the basement yet.
Ooh.
But after talking to Adam quite a few times, I think that's going to be probably my hangout spot for a little while because I hear the energy down there and the spirits that they have down there, which is eluding me the names of them. But I know one's a little girl, and then the other one is an older woman that's there. But yeah, I
Adam
hear
has a
like we're
girlfriend down there.
yes, that's yes, yeah. Uh,
There's a spirit down there that loves Adam.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
no.
the sunflower. Remember the sunflower?
Yeah, she wore sunflowers or something.
Yeah.
Something related with. I remember that.
Yeah, there was a vase of sunflowers, kind of an offering, a send up for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sharon, your favorite places to investigate? Salem is one of them, and I
Yeah,
believe the
I do
other
love
is
Salem.
New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So out of the two, pick one. Okay, this is it. This is your go-to. That's the only place you're going to get to go to for the rest of your life. That's it. That's all. It's your final choice. Your final countdown.
Salem.
Which one? Salem.
Salem.
Why?
You know what though? That's just not fair. I'm just gonna tell you because it's all about energy, and Salem is great. New Orleans is great. I love them both.
Mhm.
They're very different though. They're very different in the types of energy. So that's a really tough one for me because I love them. I've got a New Orleans cup in front of me. So yes, I love New Orleans. That's
So New Orleans it is then.
I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
Okay. Okay. Ashley, what's your favorite place?
Oh, if I could go anywhere in the world,
And that's it. That's your final destination.
it's gotta be the Vlad Tepes Castle
Oh.
in Romania.
What a creepy name. I like it already. So what can you tell us about
Vlad Tepes is Vlad the
Please.
Impaler, and his castle
Oh,
is
Okay.
known to be one of the craziest places for the paranormal. And if
Really?
I could go one place, it would be there.
Okay. Okay. Now Tirza and Nate. And you can both choose. You don't have to choose together just because you're a couple. It's okay.
She'll choose and drag me along. So
Maybe let's let Nate go first, then, in all fairness. Go ahead,
Okay.
Nate.
I don't know. I want to go back to the prison again in Mansfield.
Yeah.
Go back to Ohio State Reformatory.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so interesting, and we didn't even get enough time in one night to see it all. It's such a big prison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every time we've been there, it's been a different experience. I don't know that I don't know that the people that run the investigations there have ever fully investigated the entire spectrum of what's going on there.
It's that big there.
It's that big. It's
Wow.
big, but it's also you get a different experience every time.
Right.
That's been my
Not to mention,
experience.
Shawshank Redemption is one of his favorite movies.
It is a good movie. I mean, there's no denying that.
absolutely. I agree, Nate. That's one of my favorite movies of all times, too.
And what about you?
What about me? Oh my goodness. So if we're sticking to America, if we're sticking to North America,
Wherever you want it. Wherever you want it, Tirza.
If we're sticking to the United States, the
Okay.
Winchester Mystery House would be
Great
fascinating.
choice.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good choice. Good choice.
It's a place of power now. At least we've hallowed it in some sort of way. It's got to be a place of like sideshow proportions to visit now. I guess I'm rambling a little bit, but it'd be interesting to visit. But I guess if we're going international, if I could go anywhere in the world,
you cheating.
yes. If I could go anywhere in the world, the Valley of the Kings in Egypt would be fascinating.
Ooh.
It would be beautiful and fascinating, and all of those tombs are meant to be visited and meant to be interacted with. Like, those are spots where people would go and leave offerings. There's all this Ba and Ka information about how the spirit moves between realms, and it's like, oh, that seems like a magnet. How about I go there, see what's what?
And between that, I mean,
No.
just the spirit realm as well as the extraterrestrials. There's so much involved there, right? I mean, and then let's look at Anubis. I'm a huge fan of the Dogman cryptid. So Anubis, obviously, I naturally, gravitate towards that as well. But then going back, the point is landing my plane on my point. You're talking about Egyptian. There's A to Z of the paranormal right in Egypt alone. I mean, who wouldn't want to go there? What a great choice that is, too.
Absolutely. Actually, we have a good friend that's there right now, Mike Ricksector, who wrote the book Shadow Dimensions. He has he's touring Egypt right now with a group of people. Like, I guess this is his second year doing it. I guess second or third year. But yeah, you can go with them, and they tour like all throughout Egypt and stuff like that, the different pyramids and stuff. So. I know I would love to go on it one day, but right now it's just watching all of his pictures through Facebook, and I was like, wow, it looks so beautiful there, and very, very, like Michael said, it's with it being so connected to the paranormal because of the alien connection and the ghost connection and everything else in between. I mean, yeah, it's definitely got to be one of the top places to go and see what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted to be an Egyptologist since I was maybe 7. Other kids wanted to be doctors. Other kids wanted to be firemen. No, I wanted to be an Egyptologist. I decided this very early on.
And that's why you fit in with the rest of us here, right? We're all creeps, freaks, and weirdos, and you're no different. And that's a compliment. Believe that when we say that. So.
Well, see, I loved her bio. It says she was born to be a paranormal investigator because she was born on Halloween. I'm like, I didn't get to see that in my. What do you want to be when you grow up? If they said paranormal investigator, I would have said, sign me up. No, they made me choose to be something other than that. So.
Yes, it's very fun being born on Halloween. It's kind of that high holy day, and it's always fun giving treats out to trick or treaters. It's like my favorite thing to do. So it's really tame on my birthday. Like, I'm literally just happily sharing in a family holiday. So
But that's the exciting part. Like, everybody across North America is celebrating your birthday by going out and getting candy.
They're coming by to see, they're dressing up in costumes just for you.
All about you.
Everyone's having a ghost experience. Who knows?
No, that's so. Before we get off here, I mean, wow, this time is flying by. So, if you guys had just, what am I trying to think here? What is besides your musical instruments, are there anything else you guys use during your investigations?
We have all kinds of fun gadgets. We have gadgets, and then I think we never really go wrong with just your good old gut, your intuition. We have a trigger object that's a music box, and that's real creepy when it goes off by itself.
Super creepy.
I have a hurdy-gurdy, one of those little tiny hand crank music boxes.
Wow.
That's a good little trigger object as well to sit out and try to get some sort of response or sound to come from it. We have a kalimba, which is we also use as a trigger object, just like the little. If anyone doesn't know what a kalimba
noise again?
is, that's exactly what it is. It goes just like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very cool.
But yeah, we have aside from our trumpets and other instruments, needs a music teacher. So if there's anything we ever need explicitly for an investigation, he's our hookup.
I got them all. So
Yeah. And then, have our standard ghost hunting kit. I mean, what's our good standard? Like we go old school with dowsing rods.
We do.
Yep, love those. Have a good dowsing rod session. We've played music in conjunction with dowsing rods before.
Okay, cool.
As music was playing. That's been a while ago now, though. I would love to do that again.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to do that at the old mill.
It would.
100%.
But yeah. But yes, and the Estes method, of course.
We love that.
Standard.
It's been real successful.
Yeah.
I'm just learning about this ST method. I've been hearing like different people we've been interviewing in different podcasts that I've been watching. Everybody seems to be talking about this, and me and Michael John were just talking about this the other night.
It's crazy.
It's like now it's like I got to try this and see what's going to happen on this, because I mean it seems like a very, very interesting way to communicate without knowing what you're actually answering to, which, like you guys said, you guys got so many clear answers from your session that it's bang on. And some of the people that I've been listening to, it's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. Like the one person's asking questions, the other person's answering, don't even have a clue what that person's asking. So
we were down at what is it, Prospect Place, and Nate was playing his trumpet, and Nate, what were you playing? It was something the guy who built Prospect Place, he helped with the Underground Railroad. And so we used down in the basement, we were playing like old slave songs, because we were wondering if that was the energy that was still down there, just something that would be comforting and known to them, but also us, that we were okay, that we can be trusted. We're on your side of this. You know, you would imagine that any spirit down there would be terrified to see people coming in because it was a hidden place where you didn't want to be seen. But we were upstairs and I was doing the Estes method while Nate was playing his trumpet. And you found something period specific on your phone that you were playing on the trumpet.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
I don't either, but you know, when you have the headphones on, you can't hear what's being said, but you can hear a trumpet playing. You can still hear that. And so he would play, and then there'd be a long pause. And anytime he would play, I would hear nothing in the headphones, not a voice, nothing coming through.
Really?
And when he would stop would be when I would start to hear voices again. And at one point I remember I heard two more, and that's what I said, two more. And it was in response to them asking the question, would you like us to play any more songs for you? And the response was, yes, 2 more. He didn't want any more than that. 2 more songs, then he's got to go. Like he had to go.
After that, we're going to spook the hell out of him if he keeps playing after that. Just
Exactly.
2 and he's like...
That was another cool spot. We had ghost cats that night.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That was the
Do
first
tell.
time I'd ever encountered an animal during an
So you heard this
investigation.
cat? You heard it? You saw it?
No,
felt
it came
it.
and sat down beside us.
Come on.
You know the feeling when you're standing and a cat comes and rubs up against your leg?
Yes.
That's what I kept feeling, like something was rubbing up against my leg. And they didn't say anything about animals or cats or anything. And then at the very end of the night, I was talking to one of the guides who was with us, and I was like, do you guys ever get any reports of cats? And he kind of looks at me stunned, and he's like, well, one of the old owners of this house was a cat hoarder. like badly a cat hoarder. So
Neat.
and we didn't know that. And yeah, so there's some ghost kitties there too.
I want to go.
So
I want to go now.
Just because of the cats, he wants to go. But you can't bring Luna.
Yes,
Luna
no,
has to
baby.
stay home.
No, she's coming too.
So while we were talking backstage before the show, Sharon, you said something and told us a little bit about a story that had happened to you. And I said, we have to talk about this. So please, will you share this full story with us? Because
Sure.
this is the first time I've ever heard any of this happening to a person.
Well, we were at Ohio State Reformatory, not the first time for Ashley and Tirza and Nate and I. I think this was our second time as a group there. And we were investigating what's called the toilet room. It's where they've pulled all the old fixtures and the plumbing fixtures. There's a bunch of porcelain toilets, a bunch of porcelain sinks all stacked up in there. If you go to the very back, there's this real creepy area. And we were back there and we just kind of felt something off, felt a presence. And we tried to initiate something with it. Nothing really happened. And then it just kind of like subsided. So we were on our way to go find something else fun to figure out. And we're walking out. Nate's in front of me. Ashley and Tears are in front of Nate. I'm in the back. We're just walking along, almost ready to leave that area. And just out of the blue, something stuck me in the butt. So I'm pretty sure I was, what do they call it? Shivved? I don't know.
We'll go with that. That works.
Well, walking out, I guess I asked too many questions. So
Frank Roberts is correcting you.
They're shanked.
Shanked.
I mean,
yes, shanked
but
is the
it's
verb, is the noun, I think.
oh no, that is absolutely hilarious. But I mean, so obviously somebody got shanked in that shower before, and you just took the place of that person in real time, and you felt it. I mean, that's an absolute classic. I mean, you hear about people feeling stuff and things happening to them, but to be stabbed in the butt is just, I mean, like I said,
So good.
the person they must have stabbed must have been pretty short.
Maybe that's what they were aiming for. I don't know. I really didn't want to think about that part too much.
Oh, but that's
I did check
that-
to make sure that there was like no hole in my pants. There was nothing. And Nate was in front of me, my skeptic. There was nothing I could have bumped into. It wasn't a muscle spasm. I mean, we tried to debunk it, and I don't have an explanation.
Was there any marks at all, like a scratch, like anything that would look like the size of maybe a small knife or something?
It felt like a dull pencil, and is
okay.
the way it felt. It was not terribly sharp. It was dull, but it was pointed. But there was no mark on my clothes, nothing on me. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that, I guess, if anything, you got that story to share, and that, I mean, that's a good one. You know, like I said, I've heard of people being hit, punched. I've been hit, punched, and scratched. I don't think I've ever been stabbed in the butt, and I hope I never like. But yeah, I mean, Frank, who's messaging on side, he is a former corrections officer in prison, so. I mean, a lot of that stuff goes on quite a bit from his stories that he was telling us, and yeah, even in the afterlife, they're still doing it over there still. So you probably walked in the middle, right between two people having an argument, and that's classic. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you also want to experience during an investigation is what is going on at that time. Did you get any other type of feeling like anger or like any type of stuff like that? Did you
Prior
pick
to
up
it,
on
when
it?
we were in the back of the room, it felt like there was something very dark there that didn't want us there. But we were still trying to engage. And then it just kind of died away. So we're like, okay, nothing else is going to go on here. And that's when we were walking out. And that's when it decided it wanted, well, and it could have been residual. You're very right, instead of intelligent, but it was still quite startling. So,
to say the least.
I'm sure I screamed right in Nate's ear.
There's so many theories on that too. I mean, are we time traveling? Are we the ghosts to the ghosts as we see them? I mean, I could share an amazing story. Andrea Perrin shared one at one event when she, as you know, we all know, she grew up as a child in the Conjuring house herself. She was talking about her mother one time. Her mother was setting the dishes, getting ready for dinner in the dining area where there's a fireplace and all that. And then she heard some kids or whatever. So she had turned around and tell the kid, thinking it was Andrea and her kids, hey, go on. I'm setting dinner. Get out of here. And she looks and there's people sitting at the table. There's two kids, a woman's serving, and there's two gentlemen. And the one gentleman looks at the other gentleman and he taps him, hey, hey. And Nut does like that, nudges over to Andrea Perrin's mother. They saw her. So my point is going back to with you being shanked in the rear there. Is it us interfering in because my belief is, again, theory is a safe word for me, means because there's no right or wrong in this field for sure. None of us have doctorates in this, but the parallel dimension theory, we're always going across. I mean, there's millions of Sharons, there's millions of Ashleys and Teresa's and Nates, and whatever you can think of, we're doing it. It's happening. Past lives, Christmases, Halloweens, all that stuff. So why couldn't that have been a situation where you're in that reformatory, where you just happen to be the time traveler, if you will? Let's even go there because it could be that as well. Somehow the dimensions have lined up and they saw you and they decided to give it to you that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I go with stuff sometimes. Because we can go on for days. We just got to land the plane sometimes. We just get right off, right? But
absolutely. No, just before we run out of time, I just want to say thank you, Sharon, Ashley, Tirza, and Nate. Thank you for coming on. It was great talking to you guys, learning more about bringing instruments into the paranormal field. Brilliant. I look forward to hearing more about what you guys do as far as the instruments go. Thank you to all of our viewers, everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for all the great questions. Thank you for supporting us and letting us enjoy talking to amazing guests like who we have here tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
That's right. If it wasn't
so much
for having.
Yeah, and just we'll direct everybody to our Facebook page. And Ashley, tell them about our books.
Our books. So, as many of you know, paranormal investigating is expensive. It's an expensive hobby. So, as a group, we came together to try to find a way that we could raise a little bit money just to fund ourselves. So, we're hoping to launch next week on Amazon. This is a mock-up of what it will look like, but we have our paranormal investigating guide that takes you right through. You can fit 10 investigations, keep everything nice and detailed and organized. before you head out to your investigation. So yeah, we're hoping to go on Amazon under Paramart. Look up Paramart next week for these books.
And that is,
Awesome.
of
No,
course,
that's a great idea for sure.
Yeah, and it gets as
Thanks.
specific as what phase of the moon it was. So it's really good stuff.
wow.
Oh.
Thank you again to Sharon, Ashley, Tirza, and Nate. I want to thank all members of the TPV Nation. It's because of you, our fans, and great guests like the Metaphysical Music Mavens, ladies and gentlemen, that make us who we are. Heaps of gratitude to everybody. We all said what we wanted to say, what we needed to say, what we had to say. Damn it, we said it tonight. Boy, did we ever. But in the meantime and in between time, folks, what do we say, Dale?
We say happy hauntings.